All right, Adam, we're live a little bit later than usual.
Yes, I apologize for that. It's my fault. We
Well,
usually do a podcast. What time? At 3:30 Mountain Time,
4:30,
4:30 Mountain
4:30
Time.
Mountain Time usually. Hmm.
Yeah, but now Arizona's Mountain Time, and we have the world's largest pickleball tournament happening at my facility in Mesa, Arizona, at Arizona Athletic Grounds. And there's teams from all over the world there competing, and so I've been working there all day, and so I just got home, and now we can do a podcast.
All right, are you competing
I'm taking
yourself?
complete. I'm not competing. I hurt my back, my lower back, so I've been going to physical therapy, and my physical therapist said I should be probably close to 100%, but it might take another 2 to 3 weeks.
Yikes.
Yeah,
Well, glad that you'll get a complete really recovery. Sorry it'll take so long.
yeah.
And I put this on because Joetta Bryant started out saying, "Love you guys. We appreciate that." And she asked a question, and that's what we want to do this evening. Of course, talk about the case, talk about any other questions that y'all's minds are on. But let's start with an announcement, then we can announce it again later, Adam. As soon as he gets back from vacation, we've been in contact with Vinnie Politan from Court TV. What's the evening show there that he hosts?
Something with Vinny.
Okay, thanks.
You know me, when I go in court TV, I don't know any guests that are on. I don't know what the name of the show is. I'm terrible. I apologize.
And Vinny also has two podcasts that we'll be recommending to you. So keep your notifications on. We're gonna do a live with him. He said he's fine with a live, so that'll be interesting for everyone. Such a good guest, very experienced in true crime, and just a good guy. So starting out with that, and so let's go to Joetta's question here since we put her comment up right
Rex and
away.
I were Rex and I were on the court TV not too long ago. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, just a couple of weeks
Are
ago.
we talking over each other? I think we're losing signal or something. Or am I delayed?
I think you were that last time. I don't think you are every time. Just a weird glitch. So Joetta writes or asks,
There's something weird going on tonight. It's like a 3-second delete.
okay, so Joetta asks, did you hear that or is it delayed? Okay, she asks,
It's delayed, but go ahead.
are either of you surprised she is refusing to meet with professionals for mental evaluation? Do you think they will allow her to self-represent, Adam?
Give it 3 seconds and then I'll talk because there's a delay. 3, 2, 1.
That's
Okay.
about 10 seconds there.
Sorry. It's you know, is it a surprise for a normal person that's on trial? Like if somebody's like in a criminal mind that is I don't even know how to say this, but I just don't think Lori's in the right state of mind to make any kind of decisions. Does it surprise me that she wants to represent herself? No. I remember when she was in Idaho, she did not want to do any of the testing for the mental test to see if because when she was in the mental institution in Idaho, she hated it. She wanted out of there so bad. She would rather be in jail than be in the mental institution. So I don't think she wants to take any of those tests because she doesn't want to have them say, oh, well, you're going to the mental institution. So I think that's where her mind is. And she's probably doing things to avoid going to a mental institution, to be honest with you.
Yes, and my attitude, much like Adam's, is at this point, not much surprises me. And no matter how bizarre, all these hearings, everything, the delays, none of it really surprises me. It's just going to go when you're dealing with evil minds, sick minds, in the criminal justice system. It's just not going to go smoothly. So it will surprise me if she if they allow her to represent herself. That will be a surprise because that will just be a They used to say a goat rope.
So when you say what rights does Lori have? Does she have the right to refuse an attorney to be her own attorney? Or when you go to court, don't you have to have somebody know how to do like that's the part I don't understand. I don't understand what the law is there.
Yeah, let's have someone, one of our optimists, answer that in the comments, if you would. And Cami, if you would, Cami and Missy are moderating for us. Thank you both. Cami, if you would, star a comment that explains that, because I don't know technically, legally, what that is, but I know he can. Well, just the fact that she has to undergo these mental evaluations, the judge can say, nope, sorry, you aren't competent, or this would be too much of a circus. But let's hear the official word from someone that actually knows. We're getting input already. Lindsay is telling me, Rex, it's closing arguments. That's Vinnie Politan's show, Closing Arguments. And Lee T puts down Vinnie Politan Investigates. I believe, Lee, that's one of his podcasts is Vinnie Politan Investigates. And his TV show in the evenings on Court TV is Closing Arguments.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So you'll want to see Adam's. Adam caused a little stir on the show when he was on it. So you'll especially want to see that one. I didn't cause any stirs. We were on the same show, but at different times.
I didn't want to cause anything. I was trying to bite my tongue, but I couldn't. That's just, I can't let things slide like that. So I had to say something. I apologize for those that apparently I don't watch his YouTube show or anything like that, but some people had reached out to me that went on the YouTube, and the comments, I guess the guy that I insulted or, jumped on a little bit, his group of followers, almost kind of like Annie's group of followers, or those kind of people that just want to jump on board. I guess they just tore me up in the comments. I don't know. I haven't seen them yet, or I don't think I ever will, because I probably don't want to read it. But apparently his group that follow his podcast, I guess they all went after me pretty hard.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't read the comments either, and I don't care. But you probably offended some of our optimists, because they might listen to them, because it's not really a true crime podcast. It's more about just bashing the Mormon church. And
yeah,
some people want to do that. So if we offended,
some people want to do that, so just let it go.
And they don't do it here. And even people that might want to do it here don't do it here. And we appreciate that, because that's not what this podcast is about.
Right.
And so they go there to do that, and we appreciate that. But if we offended you with that, sorry about that. Hey, so Adam, a question on a different note from Kim Dodd. Okay. Given everything that's been put in the media about your family, what is something you wish everyone knew?
Oh, that's a good one. Growing up, we had a fun and loving family. I mean, we enjoyed each other's company. We were close. Just like any other families, of course, there was arguments or fights or whatever. But overall, I loved my childhood. I loved growing up with my family. And I know Lori and Alex went off the deep end. But Stacy, my oldest sister, is probably one of the best human beings I've ever met in my life. And she came from our family. So you just gotta, sometimes in families, you just have a couple that go crazy, and then everybody wants to say, oh, the family's terrible because look what Lori and Alex did. They can't be a good family if those two came from there. So I guess that would be the big thing that, if I wanted somebody to know something about our family, I think that would be it.
And it's laughable to us when people try to convince Adam that he was too close to the situation, too naive, that he really didn't have a good family life.
Right. I hated my life, and I just didn't understand what was going on at the time. Yeah.
That's pretty laughable, but thanks for that question, Kim.
Yeah.
giving us a chance to
Yeah,
answer.
at this point, there's nothing for me to lie about. I mean, what there? I mean, if my life was terrible, I would just say, yes, this is why Lori and Alex did this. Our family was terrible. All these things that people are saying are true. Like, there's no reason now to try to lie. There's nothing salvaging about our family. Our family is in pieces, millions of pieces, all over our families. Everybody's all over the place. So yeah, there's really no reason to try to hide or lie or hide something.
Yeah, and I've known Adam since since he was born, and he wouldn't be lying anyway. That's just not his nature.
Yeah.
And let's take that one a step further. We said this before, so it's no surprise. But Adam and I were talking about this recently. It's not really Alex's nature to lie. Now, I know Alex is a monster. What he did is reprehensible, inexcusable. He's guilty, no excuse for it. But Adam and I feel like he was starting to come out of the delusion or get out of the delusion. And if he would have very honestly told us everything that went on and was going on. That is characteristic of his life. When he did things wrong, he would fess up to it. If you knew the family at all, if you had any interaction with the family at any time from the time Alex was, I don't know, 3 years old or older, Alex would say what's going on in the family. So there were no secrets in that family. Any indiscretion, anything that happened, there were no secrets. So
right.
They're cut from the same cloth, maybe a little bit different story from the two cloths, but yeah, Adam wouldn't be lying about his perspective on his family anyway. Okay, let's see what Nancy Morales asks here. Do you know if Arizona allows for mental illness defense? I've heard, I don't know. I've heard that they don't allow for an insanity defense. I don't know what mental illness defense, since darn near everyone's mentally ill to some degree, and criminals probably more than the standard population. I don't know how that plays into it. And
Yeah,
I think
there's tons of people with mental illness. It's just depends on how I guess where you go with that mental illness. If you want to, it tends to help you, make you commit crimes or whatever. But I think nowadays the mental illness is like, it's more the normal than the abnormal.
Yeah. So Nancy, I do know, or I have heard from people that know, that I think you're referring to an insanity defense, which is different than mental illness. And no, Idaho didn't allow that. Arizona doesn't allow you to say I'm guilty because I was insane, so just lock me up in a mental institution instead of prison. Okay. No, Arizona does not allow that as my
well, Lori should be happy about that and not worry about anything else, because I think her biggest fear is going to a mental institution, because in her mind she feels like she's normal.
Okay. That's kind of sad in and of itself.
Yeah.
So Jen Becker shares, I think that her old attorneys wanted her to shy away from the media. So Lori's attorneys were replaced just recently. She has brand new ones as she tries to get the status of being able to be her own attorney. She did say, as Jen points out here, that she wants a speedy trial. And in other words, she wants to get on with it and to represent herself so she can leave Arizona and go back to Idaho. So
why doesn't she just plead guilty? I don't understand that whole thing. Just plead guilty. You don't even have to go to trial. If you want to go back to Idaho, just say, hey, I'm guilty. I already got 3 life sentences. You're just going to add 3 more. It doesn't matter. Just plead guilty and move on.
Yes, if we were dealing with a rational mind, you might be able to make that case with her.
Oh, it drives me crazy.
But we are not. So
right.
Not much of a chance of that happening. Okay, so Lindsay sounds like a definitive answer. We always buy into what Lindsay says. you have a right to counsel, which also means you can refuse counsel and just go to court by yourself, apparently. So very good, Lindsay. Thank you for that.
Well,
So
hold on. Lindsay earlier said that I sounded old when I was talking about my back and pickleball. Thanks for that too, Lindsay.
Well, Lindsay has said a few things that in the heat of the moment that, Lindsay has been so good to us and so helpful. And we want to encourage everyone to check out her and Kimberly's podcast, which is called Jury
Duty. Jury Duty. See, I don't know anybody's show but theirs. That's the only show I know.
Yeah, the Jury Duty podcast. Mm-hmm. So be sure you are watching that. And we really thank them for so many things, but especially for starting the Facebook group and really being instrumental in building this community from which we are, me, especially Adam, but all of us. And Adam and I keep saying to each other, boy, we're going to get on Facebook more often and make comments and do posts. And we are not good.
We're terrible. That. We are terrible.
We do get on sometimes, but it's
I think
we haven't built that habit.
The last post I made on our Facebook page was when I was hugging a blow-up cow that I got for my birthday from Kimberly and Lindsay and you, or whoever bought me that for my birthday. And I think that was the last post I posted on there.
Okay.
Or one of them.
Well, you should post that picture you sent me of you sitting forlornly at the pickleball tournament.
Oh,
and you just like bored out of your skull.
Oh my gosh. I'm like, please, people.
That looked terrible.
Yeah.
Christine Butler checks in. Good early morning from Wales and the UK. See, doing our podcast this late makes it, I believe, very early in the UK.
But it's Saturday morning. Why are you up so early? Saturday's your day to sleep.
What are you doing up so early, Christine?
Yeah, please go to sleep.
That's but we're glad you're here spending the time. We're glad all of you are here spending the time. Oh, Adam, we have another confession to make here.
Oh,
talking about our lack of technical expertise in podcasting.
Okay.
So those of you that don't watch our podcast on YouTube here or on StreamYard, don't catch it live, right, and you rely on the podcast on Apple Podcasts or all the other 16 places to get a podcast, you start saying, oh, did these guys give up? Or do they not do any more podcasts? And it's true, we're doing fewer recently because there's not a trial going on. However, for us to get the podcast out on Podbeam, we had to tell, y'all remember Sean, a great member of our team, our technical guy. We used to broadcast from his studio, a podcast studio. By the way, Adam, I stopped in and said hi to Sean yesterday. I was at a meeting at the school right by his
great.
He's rebuilding. But we had to tell Sean, hey, we did a live podcast. Would you get on there and get it on Podbeam? And I just started forgetting to do that, like 10 live podcasts ago. So when we realized that, I called him up and said, Sean, haven't talked to you in a while. Could you get those on? So those should be posted now, or if not now, then tomorrow. He could only do like 3 a day, and there were 10 of them or something like that. So
yeah.
So our apologies to those of you that listen. We love our listeners. Not everyone watches. A lot of people listen on the various podcast networks. We are guilty of abandoning you for a while, but all those podcasts are up there now.
Well, hold on a second. When are they going to actually hear this? Like in a week from now? When is this podcast going to actually make it?
I already told him we're doing this today. So
he can post this immediately on there?
Yeah. Well, he'll probably do it tomorrow or Monday.
Okay. Anyways.
And as long as you're plugging and making up, I'm representing. You can't see that because of the glare, but that is official merch, Silver Lining merch. So Kimberly and or Lindsay, you can give us an update on merch in the comments there and remind people if they want merch where to get that.
They probably have their own merch store now with their Jury Duty logos. They replaced us and put their own in.
And they should be making an obscene amount of money. So we hope they do. But just wanted you to know I'm representing here. Okay, so Lee T. You made a comment earlier, but here's another one. Adam, last night on Web Sleuth's YouTube, Megan was a guest and said people shouldn't blame you or Summer for anything.
Well, she's right. They shouldn't. I don't know. I don't know why people would. Like, what did me and Summer had to do with any of it?
Well, she's right. First of all, the thing is she's saying nice things about you. That's positive.
Yeah.
But second of all, people say stuff they have been all along. About you and or Summer, like you and Charles. You should have been there, and
Yeah.
who knows what else. So, so Megan's putting in a positive note there. Thank you, Megan. We appreciate that. So that's on Web Sleuth's YouTube. Is that Megan's?
I have no idea. You're asking the wrong guy.
She's on a different podcast. So
yeah,
than hers. Yeah, that one's not hers. So thank you for that, Megan. If that word gets to her, I guess I could text her and tell her. So Diane asks, when were you guys on Vinny? I don't know.
Was that Monday?
Well, remember they told us they air it like 9 times.
Oh, we did it either Thursday or Friday, because I remember watching it on Monday night with my friends after I told them what happened. They're like, we got to see this. Okay,
so it may have appeared anytime over the last week, basically.
Yeah. It's on Vinny's show on the Court TV website. If you go to Court TV and click on Vinny's show, it's on that. You have to click on his show.
What's the name of that show, Adam?
He just said, Lindsay just said, Vinny investigates or something like that. It is. That's what she said. That's what Lindsay said.
You don't remember. We just had it up there a few minutes.
Do you remember?
Heck no, that's why I asked
you. I thought you were being a smart. Oh no. I think it's Vinny.
I'm not trying to up what's that? Show you up or upset?
Yeah, show me up. You don't remember?
I'm not trying to do that. I'm saying we're both terrible at this.
Vinny investigates something.
No, that's his podcast.
Oh, I got it all screwed
Lindsay
up.
said Rex, and now
the keyword when you go to Court TV is Vinny. Just click in Vinny.
That's right. Okay. Anyway, so yes.
Yeah. Again, do I need to apologize for my actions? Do I need to apologize to Vinny for my actions on his show?
No, Vinny let it go. Remember, he's the one that said, "Oh, go ahead and say your thing." I think he liked it because
but I was thinking maybe I did too much and didn't get to the topic that he wanted to, because I started in on that guy about bashing Mormons.
Yeah, I wouldn't apologize. Vinny's professional. He can handle that. But also remember, they allowed that person on there, and he only wants to go on when he's on with a Mormon so he can bash the Mormon church. That's his thing. And so, Vinny knows that's what his thing is. They had you on with him. So
they knew I was the one that wasn't going to snap, not you. They're like, Rex is too nice and easygoing. Adam's about to snap. Let's put Adam on with this guy, please.
That was funny. Okay, so Nancy Morales says, my heart goes out to your family. There is no perfect family. Well, we've proved that ours isn't. No perfect family, and you can go back in any ancestry and find messes. I like the scripture that says, if you're without sin, cast the first stone. Very good. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I appreciate that too. A lot of people forget about that.
Yeah. In fact, our family has a little colorful past with my granddad and things, just things that we laugh at now. He wasn't the most upstanding businessman, apparently, but just funny things. But yeah,
just funny things like that.
Let's see. So Stella Luna, Otantoto, 88. The right to represent oneself is not absolute. This sounds like a quote from a law book, Stella. Very good. Courts have the authority and duty to determine whether a particular individual is capable of representing himself or herself. Okay.
So if you're not capable, then you're insane. So
No.
why wouldn't you? Well,
No.
why can't you? Why? What would make you not capable of doing it?
I could easily see, for example, and I'm not, again, I don't know this is a valid example, but I could easily see Lori going off on one of her tirades about no one was murdered and blah, blah, blah,
Mm-hmm.
and the judge not having any of it.
So what does he do at that point? Just shut her down?
Shut her down and gets her an attorney. So I could see that happening if someone's not going to put a serious effort into it, or if it's just taking too much time and causing a sideshow. Yeah, I could see a judge saying, "No, you aren't going to represent yourself." So,
or just say, "Okay, well, you said what you said. You're done. We're not taking any more, and just move on to the next thing."
yeah,
Who knows? Who knows how that's going to work out? To be honest with you, I literally have no clue how that's going to what's going to happen in that court situation.
okay. So Adam, so if we get caught up on the stars here, we're getting further behind. But if we get caught up, I'm going to ask you what questions you have that you still have that you want answered in the upcoming trial or trials.
Who's going to win the fight tonight, Mike Tyson or Jake Paul?
Those are not the questions we're going to be able to ask, because we're talking about who knows when the trial's going to be, but during the trial.
Hopefully, yeah. I don't. What do I want? What do I want to learn?
No, yeah. I'm going to ask you if we get caught up on our starred questions.
Oh, gotcha.
Going with the starred questions.
Okay.
Speaking of stars, Stars Good is here from Alberta, Canada.
Yes,
for that.
Canada.
I've been working with Canadians early today in my job.
What time is it in Canada? They can't be that different, time different, right?
They have different time zones like we do.
Okay.
They're aligned with ours, in fact. And I can't remember what Alberta's is. Jen Becker says, I thought of you, Rex and Lisa, when I traveled through St. George this last weekend. I didn't see you, and I didn't see you waving. So
you didn't come knock on his door? He lives right across the street from the church. You can't miss his house. The church.
The church in St. George. How many churches are there?
There's got to be 1,000.
At least almost every block. It seems, but that's close. So you didn't give away much on that one, Adam. But thank you, Jen. That was good of you to think of us. We weren't in town here last weekend, but and we won't be tomorrow. We were down with Adam, and we'll be tomorrow again. Well, if you come to the soccer game, we'll be with you.
I got pickleball lessons all the way from like 6 a.m. to like 1 p.m.
Oh, we've got a soccer game and basketball games to go to, so might not get to see you.
Yeah, and then my friend Eric's in town to run that triathlon here in Phoenix. He's so crazy. Who's doing a triathlon? I was like, dude, you are 57 years old. What are you doing? He loves it.
Well, more power to him.
I agree.
I admire that. Yeah. Stella Luno Tantoto said, was Lori ever deemed seriously mentally ill status in Arizona? I used to work as an SMI case manager. So she hasn't been deemed anything in Arizona to our knowledge.
No, she went. Remember, Charles had her evaluated, and she passed with flying colors.
That's like a 1 hour evaluation. Hey, are you crazy? No, I'm not crazy. My brother's crazy. Okay.
Yeah, but that's the only time that she was ever evaluated
in Arizona
to be mentally ill in Arizona. She passed it, and so that's
Yeah, flying colors was her description.
Yeah. Well, if you let her out of the office, there's a problem. I would lock the door. Do not let this woman out of this room.
All right. Let's see what Christine Butler says. Congratulations, Adam and Rex and family, on your new nephew baby. Adam is a grunkle once again. A great uncle. Carter Braxton Ryan, pass our love to Barry, Janice, and family, please. A blessing to heal all your family. So Adam, I'm going to try to stop by and see your mom and your sister I'm there this weekend. We just
Yeah,
haven't had much time between games, but I'll do it if I'm there, and if I can't, then you can pass that on to him from
sure.
Christine
Yes.
Butler.
Love it.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Christine. Chalita Tippins, new documentary on Susan Smith, who killed her kids 30 years ago. She said people are holding something over her head that happened years ago. She sounded like Lori. Lori may never admit guilt. I think we're all on the same page there, Chalita.
Yes.
We think Lori will never admit guilt. No one was killed here. No one was murdered here.
Right.
And who cares what happened to their body? Their spirits weren't in it. So why does it matter?
Mm-hmm.
So let's see what we have here from Teresa W. Being your own attorney is hard if you've not been through law school. Check out Sarah Boone. I imagine
No kidding.
if you're Lori's attorney, I imagine that's hard, even if you have through law. The attorneys she's had so far haven't found it very, very easy, have they?
Oh, well, she's gone through a few, I think.
She has gone through quite a few, and the attorneys that ended up sticking with her through trial didn't have an easy time of it either. Let me catch up on the stars here a little bit. Okay. From Christine Butler again. Good to see you again. It's 2 a.m. That is early. When my husband and kids are cheering on Mike Tyson, I thought I'd catch a live Silver Lining podcast. Oh, the family stayed up to watch the fight.
Yes.
Okay, that I believe is in Vegas, isn't it?
It's in Dallas. It's at Wally Jerry.
Oh,
It's at the Cowboys Stadium.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, Mike Tyson and that kid.
Yeah, Jake Paul.
Okay, wonder how that's going.
So they're 30 years apart, and Mike Tyson's fighting at 57. He's 27. So who knows what's going to happen? I think it's all staged, anyways. It's not. I don't think it's. I mean, there were going to be real punches and real hits, but I don't know. It's kind of a weird situation.
Yeah, well, it brings in a lot of money, isn't it? The biggest.
It's all about money. Yeah, I think Mike Tyson gets 20 million just for showing up. He could go take a dive in the first second and be fine with it.
Wow.
Not that he would, because I think Mike really probably wants to win.
Oh, I bet he does. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's Adam, let's go ahead and hear from you. We've caught up on the stars. There are a couple more there, but we've kind of caught up. Let's hear from you while we have a little time. What are a couple of questions you want to have answered by the upcoming trials? We're speculating here. We know some answers we'll never get, but what would you like? What answers would you like to get from, let's say, the conspiracy to kill Charles trial?
Yeah, I would love to know what happened to Charles in that house, because as you know, with my family, we got 4 or 5 different stories within a 3-day period.
Mhm.
Everybody had a different story.
Yeah.
So, and none of the stories that I heard made any sense to me at all. Immediately, I knew that they killed him. I just didn't know who killed him or how they killed him or what happened.
The
So
first 4 stories I heard were all different.
yeah,
So I tried calling Alex, and he was in Colombia.
yeah.
And what the heck were they doing letting him leave the country? But we all know.
Yeah, it was they obviously, the police thought it was self-defense, and so it was like they didn't. Yeah, don't get me started on that whole thing. I probably have to apologize for that too, but that's one thing. The other thing with Brandon's shooting, I'd like to know what happened there.
What do you mean specifically? What happened?
Like, well, they're saying that there's video of Lori and Alex and Chad at that storage where they were putting the Jeep seat in the back of the storage or whatever.
Mhm.
And then, Alex was a truck driver. So they're like, well, he would have to drive, 18 hours there and back without sleeping.
Easy.
I was like, yeah, he could definitely do that.
He did. Now we know because they had foot cameras,
Yeah.
camera
So,
evidence.
but like how did that go about? Like who instigated that? and what happened with that whole thing. And so, yeah, those are some of the things in this trial that's coming up with Brandon and Charles. Those are the two probably biggest things that I want to know.
I don't think we'll get this answer, but with you, I want to know what happened in the house. Why do we think Alex fired both shots, or that Alex fired shots? Why couldn't Lori have done it? We just don't know. I don't think they did gun residue checks. And so did Lori fire the second shot, or maybe both? I don't think we know. There were people, there were other people in the house earlier in the day. What did they know about it?
How far along were the shots apart?
I don't think we know that.
Oh.
Because we discovered that the second shot was done while he's down when the police were there investigating. Is a detective, I believe, or one of the policemen that said, well, this shot was done while he's laying on the ground.
Mm-hmm. So they shot him once, he hit the ground, and then how long until he shot him again?
Yeah,
that's
we
the
didn't
question.
know that.
That's the question. Was it minutes later, seconds later?
And Alex's story, of course, was that he shot him twice when he is advancing on him.
Yeah, exactly.
So right away, that story's out.
Yeah, that's out. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would like to know what happened from the time Charles went to the house, from the time he walked into the house, what transpired with Tylee, what transpired with Charles, with Lori, with the phone, the fight. Was it an ambush? Was there really a fight? Well, I mean, there's got to be some truths, but most of it, from what I understand, feels like lies. So I don't know if we're ever going to find that out, though, because really the only person that knows that's alive is Lori. Well, probably Chad too. Lori probably told Chad everything.
Yeah, that's probably safe to say.
And Tylee wasn't in the house. Well, she was in the house for some of it, but she wasn't in the house when he got shot. She was outside with
well,
JJ.
We don't know that. According to Tylee, she said she heard the noise that sounded like a shovel.
Yeah.
Now
when she was out in the car, that's what she said to the police.
But she didn't say she heard two shots. So, those stories just did not correlate very well.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there's a lot to want to know.
Yeah, exactly. So I would like to get those answers. Why does it matter? I don't think it matters to the final result, but just like I want to know how the children were actually killed. We know they were killed. We know what happened to their bodies later, but I would like to know how that came about, just for my own reasons, my own purposes. It doesn't matter to the case. And see, that's why we won't hear a lot of this, because the prosecution has this mountain of evidence. And through this mountain of evidence, they need to find the most direct path to guilt for the defendant. And so all of the other information isn't going to make it to court. It doesn't need to. And some of us would like some of that information. And
oh yeah,
we probably won't get it.
Here's another one. Somebody brought this up. Barbara brought this up. I'm reading it. It's not marked, but it says, they said, I think that they had a pool party the night after Charles was ambushed. So I want to know more about that too, because I don't think I got any right answers from my family about that.
Mm-hmm. Griffin 2263 asked the same thing.
Yeah. So the pool, the night Charles was dead, the police came. Alex and Lori went to the police station for 3 hours or whatever it was. They were sent home. Everything's fine. It was a self-defense. They go back to Lori's house. And now, what's a pool party? Like, I don't even know what that would entail with. Did family members come over? Did everybody know that Charles was killed that day? Who did Lori tell? Like, there's a lot that I don't really know about that pool party.
Yeah,
but
you weren't invited.
I definitely wasn't invited.
You
Yeah.
know, Alex didn't go home because you were at his house.
Right. So
And
do you think so? Alex must have still
oh,
stayed
you
with
were at
Lori.
Summers.
Yeah, I was at Summers. Um,
So the Summer and her family weren't there because they left for New York, right?
right. Yeah. So Summer was gone. Um, yeah, I'm trying to think.
Colby
So,
wasn't there. He
and
didn't
if you
know.
say a pool party, who was at this house? Who was at the party? And where did
Yeah,
you hear that from? The neighbors? The neighbors claimed that they had a pool party.
yeah,
Was
this
there?
is a common claim. I
Yeah,
mean,
but where did it come from? The neighbors? Because
yeah,
nobody else would have claimed that.
yeah, and who would have been there?
Who would have
Maybe
known who was there? Yeah, who was invited to this party? Why was there a party? Was there music? Who was there? Like those are some things I would like to know. Was
Mhm.
there was there a camera in the neighborhood on a ring camera that saw people going into Lori's house after that happened? Like who was there? Who went to Lori's house after that happened?
Yeah, good question. I don't know who would
So from what
would
I
have
understand,
thought of
some
that.
neighbors said that they heard music or in pool splashing that night. So does that mean they obviously went swimming and was listening to music that sounds like a pool party?
Mhm.
So, I mean, the problem is like when you get stories like that, you just don't know. Your mind can go all over the place until you know exactly what happened. I don't, and how are we ever going to know what happened?
Exactly. Yeah, who do you invite? That's a tough one. Okay. And Griffin 2263 points out, sad to think that only one person out of five that were in the house that day is alive. Yeah, all the witnesses are dead.
Yeah.
So that is sad indeed. Um, there are questions I would like to know about Alex, and that kind of relates to what I was saying about. I'd like to know how the kids were actually killed. A lot of us assume that Alex did the dirty work. He is a family hitman, um, and it wouldn't surprise me if he was. But I don't know that. We have heard rumors that the killings were ritualistic. I would like to know that because that would mean there are probably other people that were at least witnesses. Then where are those people? Is there an investigation ongoing? I have a lot of questions around those particular questions. And Adam and I were going to have a chance to follow the pings of Alex's phone the night that Tylee was supposed to have been murdered, and that fell through very disappointingly twice at the last minute. So we didn't get a chance to do that. I was hoping to get some answers there, not necessarily to share, but at least for myself. Um,
Sorry.
so yeah, I have a lot of questions around that. I'd like to know: are there ongoing investigations in Idaho? Of whom? And the other big questions that we don't know are: what about those immunity agreements in Idaho? Last we heard, there weren't any in Arizona. The prosecution said they haven't given any immunity agreements. But in Idaho, we know at least three people had them. We'd like to know more details about that. Who had them? Did they meet the terms of them? Why did they need immunity? Of course, we'd like to know that. So, a lot of unanswered questions. Are there still? We don't see any stars here. Are there still any other questions from y'all that you're looking to hear? I'm looking now. Um, okay, now I see some stars. They didn't come through to my star side before. Let me show this one. Shirley Fowler, a name I haven't recognized on here before. So if you are new, Shirley, welcome. If you just haven't talked much, or if I didn't recognize it before, sorry about that. But welcome. We're glad for you to be here and asking. She said, I don't think Lori will be able to represent herself, but how terrible would it be if Adam had to be questioned by her in court? What do you think, Adam?
Oh my gosh, I would rip her a new one. I
Would you
would.
be one of those, whatever she asked,
Oh,
you would give the answer you wanted, regardless
yes.
of what
No
she asked?
matter what she asked, I would just start going to town on her. I'd start asking her questions. I'd be a hostile witness. I can tell you that right now.
This is why Lori may not be able to represent herself,
Yeah.
because Adam would go off. Okay, that would
Oh
be
my
terrible,
gosh.
though. I would
Hey,
not.
if you
Would,
think that I went off on Vinny's show on Court TV on that guy that hates Mormons, wait till you see me on Stand Up Lori. You ever seen A Few Good Men? I'd be Jack Nicholson. I would go nuts. You can't handle the truth.
okay. Let's see. Lee T asks, have y'all seen anything about the Rastelli murder in Utah? Wife lured husband from California and her brother shot him saying self-defense. They also Googled Adelson's killing estranged husband. Lee, we are not true crime type guys, so
Sorry.
sorry, we haven't seen that. But I think she's pointing out because of the parallels
Of
here.
somebody claiming self-defense.
The
Anytime
brother,
anybody
the
claims
brother
self-defense,
shooting.
yeah. Anytime anybody claims self-defense, I would do so much investigation to make sure. I wouldn't just take it as word, or I would do some digging and do some serious police investigation work.
Okay. So do you have an answer for Chalita Tippins here, Adam? She's asked, who would you like to see prosecuted next?
Prosecuted? What do you mean?
Prosecuted, charged with something and prosecuted. You know, Lori's going
Um,
to trial now, so
I don't know. I don't know who's involved with all the different things. I don't, to want somebody prosecuted, you would have to know if somebody's guilty of something. And, we all might have some things in our head. We may think things are happening, but unless we know for sure what went down, then, I don't want anybody prosecuted until I know that they did something.
yeah, and that's my safe answer. I want every person who supported this knew about it. Like the original indictment said, all co-conspirators, known and unknown. If there are still unknown co-conspirators, I hope they get known and get prosecuted according to the role they had in the crimes, if they committed crimes. So I am for that. I just don't have, like Adam, I don't have any evidence about anything or anyone. I have a whole lot of questions, like we all do. I
Yeah.
just don't have any evidence, so I don't want to say, well, I want this person prosecuted, because like Adam, I don't have any evidence on anyone. So
Yeah, I mean, everybody has their top 3 speculations of who they think, or, but I'm sure the list can be even longer than that.
mhm. Lady Tina Marie, my first live chat. I am so stoked. Hi, Adam and Uncle Rex. So nice to meet both of you. Hey, everyone. Welcome, Lady Tina Marie, and glad
Yes.
you made it on a live chat.
Yeah, Tina Marie.
Yeah, we just appreciate everyone so much that engages with us here. It's been so healing for us and so helpful. And so all of you, even if you've never engaged and never will engage, we appreciate anyone that is a part of this community. As we've said many times, such a loving and supportive community to each
Mhm.
other. June Johnson asks, "Are y'all going to be together for Thanksgiving?" I'm gonna
Where are
be
you
here.
gonna where are you gonna be for Thanksgiving?
I'm gonna be right here in my house
You
with
are?
Lisa's family. Yeah,
Huh.
where are you gonna be? You want to come up? You're welcome.
I don't know. Summer invited me over to her house, so I might go there. When is it? Is a week? How much time do I have? A week?
I don't know, how much time do they give you? Thanksgiving's only one day.
No, I mean, how long until Thanksgiving? A week or 2 weeks?
Oh, it's a week from this coming Thursday.
Okay, so almost 2 weeks. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm probably gonna go to Summers and have Thanksgiving there.
That's a good group of people there.
Yeah.
Summer and her family, your mom and dad will be there, no doubt. So
Yeah.
Very good. So no, I guess we won't be together for Thanksgiving. You heard Adam just stuff my invitation.
My old Thanksgiving would be like waking up and going to play in a turkey bowl for the, in our church, all the guys in the church get together and play turkey bowl. And it turns out it's supposed to be flag football. And then within like 30 minutes, it turns into tackle football for some reason. And I come home hurt again, sounding like an old guy. I get hurt every time I play, so I've been retired from the turkey bowl for at least the last 5 years. I haven't played football, which I guess is a good thing.
Everyone gets hurt in the turkey bowl
It's so
because no one
ridiculous.
is in shape for it, no matter how good a shape you're in.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to the case from Christine Butler said the Brandon shooting was for insurance. I believe that. Lori was telling everyone Melanie support them. I don't believe Alex shot Charles. I think Lori did. And it woke up Tylee and JJ. That's why Tylee had to go. Okay, there's an interesting thought. We're all speculating. None of us know and probably will never know. So
Yeah.
I think, Christine, your speculation is as valid as anyone's. So thank you.
I think with Alex and guns, like Alex loved to go shooting.
Mhm.
He loved to shoot guns, and he's obviously tried to, shoot Tammy and missed or whatever. Wonder if Alex like shot Charles and then Lori took the gun from him and took the second shot. I mean, there's a lot of different ways that could have went down, and then,
Yeah.
so that's the one thing that one of the things I would like to know what exactly happened. It's not going to change anything, but just because of all the stories that I've heard, I would love to know the truth.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we would love to know the truth there. Christine Butler also says, Adam Rex, she's talking. Oh, Lori talked about the pool party in her police interview.
Oh, what did she say? I didn't ever see her police interview.
Okay. Well,
What did Lori say about having a pool party, and who was invited?
Yeah. And remember, just because Lori said it to the police does not mean it actually happened.
Right. Again, you don't know what's true and what's not true.
Right. Definitely. But
I turn my light
point.
off in my room. Sorry.
That's okay.
I'm better in the dark.
So here's an interesting Thanksgiving note. I wonder how common this is, especially this year, from Angie Lapine. My family canceled Thanksgiving because we are divided over politics.
Oh my gosh. We could do a whole podcast on this.
I
Oh
bet,
my gosh.
yeah, I bet there's so many people like that.
Oh my goodness. And I can tell you this right now. There's going to be houses this Thanksgiving, and it's going to get ugly really fast for a lot of families.
Yep.
So I would steer clear. But the problem is everybody who's coming to your house for Thanksgiving, you know how everybody voted. You know how everybody stands because everybody talks about it. There's going to be hard feelings one way or another. There's going to be, I would just try to stay away from that as much as possible.
I'm almost on the opposite end of that. First of all, very few people in my family know how I vote usually in a presidential election.
Okay.
As 4 out of the last 6, I've written in my choice. And I will take the other side just for fun.
Because the devil's advocate every time.
I hate politics so much.
Me too.
Because I have to pay attention. Yeah. Okay. And since I do, I hear a lot of it. So I can argue either side, and I don't care enough not to. I just, hope to make people think sometimes. So I am guilty of that. So sorry, I am an antagonist. And
you love a good Thanksgiving fight.
I do that with religion too. In my family all grew up in the same religion, and I still do that. So
I like that.
Sorry, yeah, some of my family doesn't, so we probably won't talk about it. But yeah, sorry to hear that, Angie, that you can't even get together over it because of that. But I understand. Oh, look at this! Is so sweet, Carolina Hurtado. I have no idea if I said that right. Could be
Carolina
Hurtado. If you wanted however you want to say it. YW, don't know what that means. I'm
You're
going to go
welcome.
with,
You're
I'm going to
welcome.
say, oh, you're welcome. I was going to
Yeah.
say you're wonderful because, I can.
Or they do that.
Silver Lining Podcast. And I have hope and pray Janice as well. And Adam and Rex, you and your precious family have endured so much. You all are an inspiration to us all. Thank you for that. I love watching you both. Thank you very much for that. See, those are the kind of comments that have brought us so much healing over the last year and whatever we've been doing this, and
Yeah.
why we love this community. So thank you for that.
Yeah, it definitely helps.
Yep. As we wind down, we have 5 minutes here. Let's see what Diane L says. So if Lori goes off on her religious tangent in court, would the judge put a stop to that? I hope so, because it makes me ill anytime I hear that stuff.
Yeah.
So
who knows what's going to happen in court and when it's going to go to court. And she's supposed to take 3 psych evals and she's just refuses to take them. Then what happens?
Well, I think, Adam, and someone can correct this because I didn't listen closely enough, but I listened today to hear what was going on. I think her attorneys told her not to show up. Her new attorneys told her not to show up. There's some discussion about Title 11 and getting her out of it so she could do what she wanted. I didn't follow it. And I know several of you probably followed it and know exactly what it is. And I'm not representing it well, but we just, I don't want to follow it because I guess I don't care enough about all these delays, details, her strategy. I don't care. I want to be over. I want to get answers to questions. I want the people that need justice for Charles, that need the trial to feel like they're getting justice for Charles. I want that to happen because he deserves that. His family deserves that. Well, we are his family, but Kay, Larry, the whole family. I want the trial for all the people that need the trial. And then I want to go away and I want to get done as soon as possible. So we just don't know what's going to happen. Okay, a final warning here. Anna Marie. Her birthday is on Thanksgiving, so people better be nice. Well, let's at least be nice. Everyone can agree to.
Here we
Anna
go.
Marie.
Sing Anna happy birthday, then right after that start eating and then get right into politics.
So the meal will end quickly and everyone can disperse.
Exactly.
This question we don't know the answer to, but it's an interesting speculation from Christine Butler. Could Chad turn on Lori to get the death penalty overturned? I don't see how that would go down.
I don't think so either.
Interesting thought, Christine.
What do you mean Chad did turn on Lori? What are you talking about?
Well, he didn't really turn on her like he didn't say she
well,
did.
His attorney pointed everything towards her and tried to get him out of everything. That's turning on Lori.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Good point on
the problem that Chad can't turn on Lori is because Chad's just as guilty as Lori.
Yeah, and getting out of the death penalty that way. For me, one of my daughters had this opinion, and I kind of feel that way too. If he didn't get the death penalty, just got life like Lori, and when they took the death penalty off the table with Lori, I'm okay with that. If they wake up every day from a miserable, rotten life in a miserable, rotten place and have to think about what they did, I'm kind of okay with that. And if they live to be 100 years old and have to spend every day of it in prison, I'm kind of okay with that too. So I'm not. I wouldn't be too distraught if he got out of the death penalty. I think they all deserve it. Anyone that did that to those kids and those people, Tammy Charles, deserve it. But it wouldn't bother me too much. Thank you, Cammie and Missy, for notes like this. It said, be sure your notification bell is set all so you don't miss our future episodes, especially the one with Vinny. We don't know when it'll be yet. We'll post it, and hopefully notifications will get out to you. But he's on vacation. When he gets back, we're going to set up the time for that. We're going to try to do it at our normal live time, like a Friday evening, but it's going to depend on his schedule too. Okay, so thanks for being with us this Friday night, later than usual. Thank you for your comments and just for being a part of this. Thank you to those of you that are a part of it and don't comment. We recognize you too. We appreciate you being there and love you too. Adam, any last minute closing thoughts?
Who's going to win the fight tonight? Mike Tyson or Jake Paul? Pick right now.
And I'm going to sign off while they're picking. So we won't know what they say. They can put it in the comments.
All right.
All right. Take care, y'all.